Welcome to Psychology Live. We are so glad that you are joining us again. We love all of our viewers. We love to hear from you.
We love you all.
We do. We just love you.
We do. Wait, let me just add something.
Sure.
Now, for those of you who are fashion oriented, I'm just going to say, if you haven't already noticed, this is like a hot trend for spring 2019 neon, pink and green. The leopard print is always in style, and Gail just scored this lovely number in Savannah while she was on vacation. So if you need any fashion tips, just keep watching, because we're on point. We got all our appropriate accoutrements going on week by week.
I remember one time a client said, I don't come just for therapy. I want to see what you're wearing.
I have been told that so many times, it's not even funny. And listen,
we all have our vices. We don't drink, we don't smoke.
That's right.
We have our vices.
I was a fashionista. I can remember going to the first day of high school, and we went to the same high school in 10th grade. Hot pants, colored tights, high boots. I thought I was Superwoman, man, and it was happening because that was the look back then. Hot pants and, everything leotard. So.
And I was fortunate to have two older sisters who were fashionistas. Well, my father owned a beauty college, barber college, beauty school, all kinds of things. So it was all fashion, all of that, all the time.
And whatever makes you
fortunate.
Right, and whatever makes you feel good is helpful to you. Because, one thing we're going to say, this is the honest God truth, how do women take good care of themselves? You get up, you dress up, and you show up. And the dressing up doesn't mean just rolling out of bed in your pajamas and barely combing your hair. Wear some makeup, wear some jewelry, do your nails. If it makes you feel good, it's worth doing.
And notice we have the same color on today.
Yes, we do.
It's kind of a purpley thing.
Yes.
Anyway, we are so glad that you are joining us, and we are doing another show on our viewers' questions because we love to hear from you. And you can ask us a question right from YouTube. That's what a lot of people have been doing, and it's wonderful. But we also have a Facebook page. What's it called?
Yeah, Psychology Live, which you can contact us through that means. Or, we're both on Psychology Today as therapists working in zip code 48167. So if you go to psychologytoday.com and hit the icon with our zip code 48167 for Find a Therapist, we'll pop up with all our appropriate information. And, if you want to see us for therapy too, that's what we do. We're psychotherapists, so we're happy to work with you if you have that need.
And if we aren't the right people for you, we will refer you to other people.
Absolutely.
We have a nice network out there.
Mm-hmm.
I had an interesting thing happen when I was on vacation. A woman called to set up a new appointment. So when I called her back, she happened to be watching our shows, and she's like, "Oh my gosh, I'm watching you right now on YouTube."
That was good.
It was so sweet.
And also too, one thing about psychotherapists you should know is that, obviously we do Skype, we do home-based, well, I do home-based, we do Skype, we do FaceTime.
It's easier.
I was just in the hospital the other day doing a session there with a client. So, we are available. Michael Phelps isn't kidding about, therapy really does help, and everyone should have access to it. So
Michael Phelps?
Oh, yeah.
Wow, that's cool.
Yeah, he's definitely a
Everyone should
proponent of mental health and therapy for getting the right help.
It's so cool because way back when I started, which was 100 years ago, therapy was kind of in secret. Like, you didn't talk about the fact that you were in therapy. Where now everybody has a therapist, which is a wonderful thing.
It is, because we can help.
Okay, we're going to get to our first question.
The first question was, you mentioned in your past show on effective communication about passive-aggressive behavior. Well, what is that, and what are the major ways people communicate to each other?
Passive aggression is obviously very subtle. And it happens, I see it so much in couples because I do a lot of marriage counseling. And people are very nice to each other, but then they do something like kind of hidden or behind the scenes that is aggressive. It may be, it's great. Go shopping. I want you to. This is great. And then over here, the charge card gets cut down to a couple $100. Mm-hmm. It's that kind of thing. Or, no problem. Let's go out with our friends. I want to do it too. Then you go out with the friends and the person gets drunk and belligerent. Okay, well, did you really want to go? No, that person didn't really want to go, but somehow the feelings are going to come out one way or another.
Right. With passive aggressive behavior, your words don't match your actions. So you're being passive on one end of the spectrum, but then or it could go in the other way. You can be aggressive and then passive. But bottom line with passive aggressive behavior is words and actions do not match up. Now that's one way of communication, and unfortunately, it's a very common way.
I want to say one more thing about the passive aggression. What you just said about them not matching up, that's true. But it can look like the person is in agreement and going along with you. It's that internally, it's just not true. You know, we've said before, good mental health is being based in reality and in truth.
Yes.
It's like telling your truth. But passive aggressive people don't tell the truth because they're afraid of being rejected and not being accepted. So instead, they just go along with, but those feelings have to go somewhere. So instead of saying their real feelings or saying no or saying whatever it is they need to say, they repress it. Well, repressed emotions are going to come out one way or another, and that's the aggressive part of the passive aggression.
Right. And, Dr.Gail, she's always the one that's, giving people the benefit of the doubt. Well, I'm like, yeah, right. And sometimes people are just evil and they do passive aggressive behavior because that's how they're going to get what they want. And they're not repressing nothing. They're just being their evil selves, and they're going to do what they're going to do regardless and lie about that they don't do it.
That's why we need to have two people doing the show.
That's right. That's right. Now, another style of communication is passive communication. And with the passive communicator, they're your person. And in other words, when I was a kid, I'm just saying, when I was 18 and the legal age for drinking was 18, who were my best girlfriends? The one that were very passive communicators. Sure, I'll go with you to, the strutting club. Sure, I'll go with you to this bar, that bar, because whatever I wanted to do and suggest on a Friday night, they were hip to it, and they said they wanted to go, even though they may not have wanted to, they did. So that was my kind of friend back then.
Well, many times passive people don't really know what they want. So you give them a suggestion, let's do this. They're like, sure. You want to go eat here? Sure. You want to go see this movie? Sure. Because they haven't built enough self-esteem to know what their real feelings are.
Right.
How do I really feel? Do I really want to go eat there? Do I really want to see the movie? Do I really want to go out to that bar? Maybe not, but they don't stop and take a look at that. They just passively go along with. Something I noticed with passive people too, we all have different coping techniques. And a real common one that people use is laughter. And that laughter is a wonderful thing. Bible says a merry heart does good like a medicine. It's so true. I mean, laughter is wonderful. But many times passive people, instead of stating their real feelings, will just laugh. Or they'll be kind of funny because they don't really know what their feelings are.
Right.
So let's just make the whole thing funny.
And you know what's so sad about the passive...
And you are really funny, but you're not passive.
I'm not passive, okay? Passive communicators, what I find very tragic and sad about that as a lifestyle choice in communicating with others is that how is anybody going to understand you very well at all, intimacy-wise, emotional, spiritual, and or physically intimacy-wise, if you don't communicate how you authentically feel and think? Nobody should be able to have to guess at who you are. You have to know who you are. And passive communicators find that their relationships are often very shallow or short in duration because people, they're like, bye, because they can only get so far with you, and then you kind of drop off the cliff because you won't talk about anything past, the safe stuff, if you will.
So in relationships, what I see many times with the passive person is they're just going along, and after a long-term marriage, they become extremely angry because he or she didn't do this or that or this or that for me, even though the passive person never voiced it.
Right.
People around us cannot read our minds. We're not psychics.
Right.
It's like you have to voice what you need and what you want. But first of all, you have to figure out what you need and want. Just a kind of a simple technique that I have a lot of my clients do is get a notebook, write down I feel, and then just fill it out every day. Start with I feel, fill it out until you get to know what your real feelings are. What are your real feelings, your real thoughts, your real wants, your desires, all of that. It's floating around up there, but somewhere along the way, passive people have learned not to voice their feelings.
Mm-hmm. We're out of time, so guess what?
Really?
Next show, we're going to talk about the aggressive and then the assertive communicator, because assertiveness is always the goal. So stick around and watch for us next video.
We are so happy that you joined us.
Bye.
We'll see you. Have a good day.